You are a hostage in your own body, merely observing while a hidden force pulls every string of your existence. Right now, you imagine that your conscious will is the pilot, steering your romantic pursuits, your deepest terrors, and your bursts of fury. You are mistaken. An uninvited roommate occupies the master bedroom of your soul, a silent authority who sabotages your potential and writes your destiny while you sleep. You don't even recognize his face. Carl Jung identified this entity as the shadow, issuing a grave alert that our modern era ignores at its absolute peril. Unless you drag the subconscious into the light of day, it will dominate your path and you will mistakenly label it fate. You found this video because that friction has become unbearable. You have massive ambitions, yet you consistently trip over your own feet. You hunger for dominance, yet you default to submission. You want to break free, yet the bars of the cell remain locked. You are exhausted from playing the role of the agreeable martyr who gets trampled. You are done with the cycle. I am delivering the master keys to the basement of your mind. We are dissecting the high-voltage philosophy of Carl Jung. This isn't the dry textbook version. This is the weaponized strategy for total self-sovereignty. It is the blueprint to stop being a marionette and start being the architect of your reality. But fair warning, this isn't a lecture on positive thinking. This is open-heart surgery. To save the man, we must first break the ribs. We are going to explore the jagged pieces of your identity that you've buried for decades. By the conclusion of this journey, you will realize why being a nice person is a suicide mission, and why integrating your lethal, dangerous aspects is the only route to becoming truly invincible. Let us begin. Phase 1. The tragedy of the harmless man. Observe the typical modern male. He is castrated by politeness. He is docile. He grins when disrespected and begs pardon when he is the victim. He chokes out his rage because society told him strength is poisonous. He kills his ambition because he was told power is predatory. He is a model citizen and he is hollow. Jung insisted that this artificial morality isn't holiness. It is simple cowardice. A person incapable of biting isn't peaceful. They are just a snack. A man who lacks the capacity for darkness isn't morally upright. He is dangerously naive. You were lied to, told that your shadow, the part that is primal, competitive and dominant, is a demon to be exorcised. You shove it into the dark. You starve it. You gaslight yourself into believing it vanished. But the shadow never dies. It only evolves. When you bury your darkness, it detaches from your awareness and starts working for the opposition. It creates a state of internal possession. Have you ever blacked out in a moment of rage? Have you ever delivered a verbal strike so sharp you didn't know you possessed the edge? That is the monster breaking the lock, because you refused to give him a seat at the table. Since he wasn't invited to talk, he decided to burn the house down. Jung saw that the most terrifying people on earth aren't those who know their darkness. It's the ones who swear they have none, because they have zero relationship with their own capability for destruction. They have zero control over it. They leak it through passive aggression and bitter resentment. They burn down their relationships while wearing a halo and claiming they only wanted to help. You must stop striving for goodness. Goodness is a leash held by the herd to keep you quiet. Instead, you must fight for wholeness. A whole man has made peace with his beast. He knows he can be violent, which makes his decision to be calm meaningful. He knows he is capable of being ruthless, which is why his mercy carries weight. You need to descend into that basement and unlock the chains. You need to look that version of yourself in the eyes. You need to realize he isn't the enemy. He is your engine. He is your hunger. Without that darkness, you are a declawed house cat. With it, you are a sovereign who keeps a wolf on a short lead. Phase 2, the persona, the suicide of the soul. We all wear masks. Jung termed this the persona. It is the social camouflage you wear to be accepted, promoted, and tolerated. This mask is a tool. You cannot walk through the world with your raw soul exposed. You would be flayed alive. You need the shield. The catastrophe happens when you believe the mask is your actual face. The catastrophe happens when the ceramic skin fuses to your bone. Most of you have vanished into your professional titles. You have become the funny guy, the reliable one, or the perfect spouse. You have spent years sanding down the edges of this character to get social validation. But the tax on this performance is your soul. When you become the act, you exile the truth. You begin to feel a heavy, systemic loneliness. Even in a crowded room of people who claim to adore you, the isolation remains. Why? Because they don't adore you. They adore the movie you're playing for them. And deep in your gut, you know that if you stopped the show, if you revealed your actual frustrations, your real exhaustion, or your true judgments, they would vanish. So you keep performing, and the labor of the lie destroys you. It breeds a secret hatred for the people you are trying to please. Jung cautioned that the persona is a collective hallucination, a simulation of a human being. To become an outlier, you must create distance. Treat your persona like a tactical suit. Put it on to do business, to navigate social hierarchies, and to protect your private inner sanctum. But when you are alone, or with the rare individuals who deserve the truth, you must strip it off. You must develop a hunger to be disliked. This is the final exam of freedom. If you cannot tolerate being hated, you are a prisoner of the audience. The integrated man pilots his persona. He isn't driven by it. He can manipulate a room with charm when necessary, but he doesn't need their applause to feel real. Ask yourself, if I stopped the act tonight, who would stay? The ones who stay are your tribe. Let the rest go. Phase 3, the mirror of projection. Everything that irritates you about others is a hidden aspect of yourself that you refuse to claim. Jung called this projection. When you house a quality inside you that you've labeled as evil or shameful, you bury it. But the mind demands a screen, so it uses other people as projectors. Do you loathe arrogant people? Does seeing someone brag trigger a visceral burning hostility in your chest? Why? If you were truly balanced, you'd just find them slightly irritating. You hate them because you have a suppressed arrogance inside you that is starving for air. Do you despise the lazy? It's because you are losing a war against your own need for stillness. Do you hate the manipulative? It's because you are a closet strategist who is envious of their effectiveness. Your enemies are your private tutors. They are pointing directly at what is hiding in your own shadow. Instead of judging the people who trigger you, analyze them like a scientist. Judge what part of this is vibrating in my own chest. When you reclaim these projections, you stop being a victim of your feelings. You become cold and objective. When you see an arrogant man, you don't fume. You recognize a drive for power. You see the board. You aren't triggered because you have already integrated the king within yourself. This makes you untouchable. The simplest way to enslave a man is to weaponize his self-righteousness. When you integrate your shadow, you lose the craving for moral high grounds. You accept that humanity is a messy, dark spectrum. You stop condemning and start observing, and the observer always holds the advantage. Phase 4, the gold in the abyss. Shadow work isn't just about managing a monster. It's about recovering your crown. The massive amount of energy you spend keeping that cellar door locked is the same energy you could use to build a legacy. Jung noted that the shadow holds the instinctive power of a human being. It is the battery. When you stop the internal civil war, that energy returns to you. Imagine your magnetism if you weren't filtering every sentence through a social safety check. People are instinctively drawn to the shadow. We worship anti-heroes because they are unchained. They say what we swallow. They act while we hesitate. You can have that edge without the self-destruction. It comes from integration. Stop asking for permission to exist. The moment you stop apologizing for your presence, the world starts moving out of your way. Your genius is often hidden in the parts of you that society told you to suppress. Your rebellion, your intensity, your sensitivity, these are not flaws. They are the raw materials of greatness. Phase 5, the anima and internal sovereignty. Jung saw a specific vulnerability in men that topples the strongest empires. The anima. This is the feminine archetype within the male mind. If you ignore this force, if you pretend you are a statue made of pure cold logic, she will hijack your life. You've seen this man, a ruthless executor in the boardroom who becomes a whimpering child in his private life. He is possessed by the anima because he refused to build a relationship with his own internal world. To be an outlier, you must step back from your moods. When a wave of infatuation or depression hits, don't say, "I am sad." Say, "My anima is acting out," separate. The observer from the sensation. By engaging with your emotions consciously, you prevent them from owning you. An integrated man is dangerous because he is cold enough to lead but intuitive enough to read the room. He is complete. He doesn't need a partner to fill a hole. He wants one to join his conquest. That is the gap between a needy boy and a sovereign man. Phase 6, synchronicity and reality manipulation. The internal and the external are not separate rooms. They are the same hall of mirrors. When your mind is a war zone, your life is a mess. You attract chaos and bad luck. But when you integrate, the mirror clears. You start to experience outlier luck. Doors that were rusted shut suddenly swing open. The architect knows this. You don't grind the world into submission. You align your internal will, and the world aligns itself with you. Hustle culture is a lie because grinding with a broken psyche is like driving with the emergency brake on. Fix the internal engine first. When you stop fighting your own shadow, you become aerodynamic. You slide through reality. Pay attention to the coincidences. They are the universe telling you that you've finally stopped lying to yourself. If you are surrounded by betrayal, find the traitor in your own mind. You are the projector. The world is the wall. Change the film. Phase 7, the path of individuation. The goal of life isn't happiness, it is individuation. This is the process of becoming the single, unique, undivided individual you were always meant to be. It is a lonely, brutal climb. It requires you to desert the herd. Most people never make it. They live as photocopies and die as ghosts. To individuate is to commit treason against the average. It means walking into the forest where there is no trail. Jung said the privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. But that privilege is expensive. The price is your comfort. You have to execute the old version of yourself. The nice guy must die for the warrior to arrive. You are clutching a corpse because you fear the vacuum. Drop it, enter the void. In that darkness, the alchemy happens. This is your hero's journey. Will you step forward, or will you crawl back to sleep? Phase 8, the protocol for mastery. Shadow work isn't a theory. It's a bloody practice. It's catching yourself in a lie. It's facing the shame you've been running from since you were 10. It isn't aesthetic. It is grueling work. But the payoff is reality. It is waking up and realizing the voice in your head is finally yours. You are no longer a leaf. You are the storm. Step 1, the shadow journal. Record your irrational reactions. Ask, what does this reveal about me? Step 2, the persona audit. Break one mask today. Stop laughing at things that aren't funny. Watch who leaves. Step 3, the anima dialogue. Negotiate with your inner world. Step 4, active imagination. Invite your shadow out. Don't fight him. Shake his hand. Ask, what do you have that I need? Jung said the gods have become diseases. You aren't mentally ill, you are in a spiritual civil war. The cure isn't a chemical, it's a treaty. You must make peace with your demons. They are just exiled angels. While the world runs from the dark, you will walk into it. You will find that the thing you fear most is the only thing that can fix you. This isn't about being happy. It is about being real. Real things have gravity. Real things cannot be snapped. If you watch one video this year, let this be the funeral of your old self. The shadow is waiting. The clock is screaming. Open the door. Most will choose the blue pill and the comfortable rot. But you are done sleeping. Like this video and mention Wines of Thought. Subscribe if you value the truth. I'll see the architects on the inside.